And this is Cooking
Cooking
with the
with the
Bells.
We'll get better at that eventually.
One day, maybe.
So, for today's drink, we're going to do a Lavender London Fog, which is just an Earl Grey tea latte. So right here we have some Earl Grey tea steeping already. And then over here in the pot, I have a half cup of granulated sugar, a half cup of water, and I brought that to a boil, and I put in a tablespoon of food grade dried lavender. And it's important you make sure your dried lavender is food grade, because a lot of the craft store and the aromatherapy dried lavenders tend to have a treatment on the outside and it's not safe for consumption. So this has been steeping and boiling for probably about 3 minutes now. And the tablespoon with just the half cup of each is a lot because lavender is very strong. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and strain this just because I don't want all the lavender buds. Just carefully pour.
And if you're not a fan of lavender, you can simply leave out the lavender and just use the water and the sugar and make a simple syrup. And then you could sweeten your tea with that, just without lavender. I also like to make a simple syrup with just a little bit of vanilla extract, and that also makes a wonderful sweetener with a little flavor.
So I'm gonna let that just kind of sit and drain, and then I'm gonna go ahead and wipe out the pot just because I don't know if you've noticed we don't have water access out here. And I'm just trying to get the lavender buds out of here. That's what I love about being outside. We'll be back after a short break. Perfect. Got that plate, and then just one more wipe because I just have like a couple more little lavender buds that are being stubborn. And one day we're gonna have 2 pots, so we don't have to do this.
That day is not today.
No. So now what I'm gonna do is I have some creamer. We're using almond creamer today, but you can use whatever creamer you like. My only recommendation would have it be like a more neutral flavor, so like the sweet cream or vanilla, not something like overpowering.
Not like chocolate or...
Yeah. Unless you like chocolate and lavender. It's
true.
not my cup of tea personally, but if you like that,
Cup of tea. See what you did there.
I try. So I'm just putting it on my burner. The pot's still a little warm. And we're just going to scald it. So we just want to bring it to the point right before it boils. And I have a handy dandy frother. You can get these online, and most supermarkets have them now. I know I got this one for $5 at my local supermarket. So you can usually find them for a pretty good deal. Otherwise, you can use a French press and just whip it really fast, or you can also just beat it with a whisk. All you're wanting to do is get some air in your scalded milk.
I just want to point out that today we are having London fogs, and then we're going to have a full English breakfast. So today's episode is actually inspired by a TV series we hold near and dear to our heart that turned into a movie series, and that second movie is coming out soon. So we are celebrating with a full English spread.
Very excited. I'll put in a shameless plug. It's Downton Abbey and it's wonderful.
It is.
If you think otherwise, I dare say you're wrong in my opinion. It's still just my opinion, but also.
it's definitely a experience that we've had together because we watched all 6 seasons together.
Even when we lived 10 plus hours apart, depending on where I was in the country, because I move around a lot.
We attended the first movie together.
Yes.
And then now, here's movie 2. We're
Yeah.
celebrating with making some breakfast.
Yeah. I'm so excited. It's starting to steam, so we're almost there. So this is almost there. So I was getting to the last spot. If you want to hand me the yellow bowl right there we're using for our trash.
Sure.
Just because I'm going to swoop this over and I don't want to accidentally drip sticky syrup everywhere. That sounds disastrous. And then I'm just going to always like to smell it to make sure I didn't actually accidentally make it a little stronger than intended. No, I think that smells divine. Perfect. So I'm going to put about half a tablespoon, eyeballing it into my tea.
Remembering that it does have sugar in it, so it is sweet.
Yes. And you can add as much as you like. This is 100% to preference. I don't like my tea super sweet. And the Earl Grey tea that we use is already has some sweeteners in the tea bag. So I'm going to hand this to you to sweeten your tea as you see fit.
Great, thank you.
And my cream, I was about to say my milk again. Our cream, just reach that scald level and turn off the burner. And then just put this in and turn it on. Not splash the other human with scalding liquids. Like I said, the point after you scald your milk to froth it is just to get air into your steamed milk. It's what's going to make that froth, make it delicious, so you have a really good latte. If you have a frothing machine, you could just use that too. I'm just not that fancy yet. We'll get there one day. Right, that looks good to me. Just gonna put it in this bowl so I don't drip everywhere. And then, this is how you know we're klutzy. She backs away when I have a hot or sharp object close to her. I promise I would never injure someone on purpose. I guess it's the on purpose part that's the issue.
Exactly. We have past experiences.
Just gonna gently. You can see how frothy it is. I like mine super foamy. You tell me when to stop for yours. Yeah.
That's perfect.
Should have gotten the paper towel ready before I did this, but here we are. I'm
Coming
not
in for the
talented.
assist.
Yes. This is why I love having friends in the kitchen. Perfect. And I'm just going to put it right here. Just didn't want to, again, drip everywhere. And then I like to leave my tea bag in so it gets stronger. I know that is not technically correct, but it's how I like it.
All right, cheers. It's perfect.
Lavender syrup gives it just a hint of that lavender flavor, so it's not overpowering. It just kind of is very subtle under the black tea, and then having the hot milk with it.
It's delicious.
So good. This is like comfort now.
It really is. Something about Earl Grey just speaks to my soul.
Yes. And if you want to make this technically correct, we'll have the ratios in the description below for how much tea to frothed milk you should have. We like eyeballing it just because it really is, if you don't like the way it tastes, what's the point? So that's why you see us eyeball it.
We know what we like. Downton Abbey and tea.
As I hold my tea like the most incorrect human.
Same. All right. So I'm going to have to set this tea down and get over to our griddle.
What are we cooking today?
Today is full English breakfast.
You already said that, didn't you?
Just a reminder.
One track mind. I was busy. I didn't want to burn the milk.
Exactly. So I'm going to go ahead and just take my seasonings over here to my griddle. My griddle is already oiled, preheated, ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and add my sausage links on.
And again, you can use any sausage that you like. We're using some breakfast sausage links, but you can also use Italian sausage. You could get the tube of breakfast sausage and just cut it into little slices and do little patties. It's
Personal preference here.
yeah. We're not gonna judge.
All right, so that was my sausage. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my bacon.
I just finished getting open, so good timing.
I appreciate the assist. And I am wearing gloves just because I don't necessarily like raw meat getting everywhere.
Yes. Plus, it's real easy to just shed the gloves as opposed to having to run wash our hands really quick.
There. I'm going to just cut my bacon in half. Just going to flip my bacon here. I'm flipping my sausage. Get everything nice and cooked through.
Yum, yum.
Alright, so our bacon and everything is going to continue cooking, but I'm going to just move it around a little bit because I want our eggs to be cooked in the grease of the bacon and the sausage.
Just grab some bowls just in case anything starts to overcook. We can pull it off quickly.
Great thinking.
Doesn't normally happen, but the minute you say that, it's gonna happen. So,
Oh, exactly.
better prepared.
Because eggs cook so fast, I really just want to make sure that, you know, the bacon and the sausage are mostly done before I crack my eggs in here. I kind of move things around because in my little spaces, Kate's going to crack some eggs for us.
You got it. Let me just pull up my sleeves for sanitary purposes.
And my griddle's on about a medium, just for reference. But you know your griddle.
All right. There we go. These are some hard eggs.
Right? Yeah. So the egg is running down into the bacon and the sausage and cooking in that grease.
Haha, that works better.
Now this isn't a breakfast you would want to, you know, cook every morning or anything like that, just because it is pretty grease heavy, meat heavy. But a great weekend breakfast for a special occasion.
Yes. A good switch up from pancakes and or waffles, whichever your preference is. Do we want 4 or
I think 4's good. You can do as many eggs as you want. We're going to do 4 here today. So we're just going to let that cook a little bit. I'm just going to check on my sausages and bacon here because I don't want it to get too overcooked. If any of them need to be flipped.
Making sure to move things around with the hot spot on your griddle. Ours has like 2 kind of key hot spots we found. Who knows, we might find more.
You never know. And I think it changes day to day depending on how level the ground is and that kind of thing.
Yeah. Plus, as I'm sure you can see in our paper towels, we have a wind today, which is going to blow the flames a certain direction. So, you know, gotta go with the flow.
Now, I'm the world's worst about cracking my yolks, so I'm trying to be extra careful here because I like mine a little runny to eat with my toast. But once again, personal preference. Up to you.
And if you want to do them sunny side up, just crack your eggs where they're closer together. And then once the bottoms are established, squirt some water onto your griddle and then cover your eggs with a dome. And that'll create steam to kind of cook the tops but still give you that sunny side up egg.
Oh, look how beautiful that is.
You did such a good flip on that. I'm impressed. I can't flip an egg very well.
Now let me not get overconfident here.
Yes. One more.
That's
I
my
believe.
problem. All right.
This one.
Yes.
And one of the keys to getting a good egg flip like that is making sure your bottom is well established. So I always try to have my heat low enough that I can let the egg whites cook almost all the way through so I have a nice thick base to pick up on and flip.
All right. So now that those are cooking, they're on their flip, I'm going to go ahead and add in our mushrooms. Here you go. So I'm just going to do some generous sprinkling. These are just sliced white mushrooms. I love vegetables on the BlackStone, and mushrooms are no exception.
I really like them on the BlackStone Griddle right after I've cooked some bacon, so they're cooked in the bacon grease.
That or steak, sauteed, or like griddled mushrooms cooked in steak. Yes, and onions.
Man, I don't know if you can tell, but we're hungry.
I'm ready to eat this now. So I'm just gonna let that sit a few minutes. Let our mushrooms cook. I'll be checking on my bacon because no one wants overcooked bacon. So, over here we're going to talk about what goes with an English breakfast. We have some toast. We have some jam. I'm using a 4-fruit jam. It's strawberries, cherries, red currant, and raspberries. And then, I had never heard of this before until looking at different recipes that are traditional to England. They eat baked beans with their breakfast.
Yes.
But surprisingly, it's great. I love it. I really like sweet things, and so that was just great for me, icing on the cake. All we did was warm up a can of baked beans, and so that is warm and ready to go.
Haven't mastered the baked beans from scratch yet, but as soon as we do, you'll be the first to know.
But also, we're about easy, and it's morning time, so if you want to do canned baked beans, it's up to you. All right, so I think we're ready to go over here. Oh, look at that blistering on those tomatoes.
Oh, yes, like that one even split.
Oh, yes.
So,
That's my favorite.
yum.
Oh, and these mushrooms, they look divine. All right, so I'm just gonna give this a little stir, and I think we're ready to go. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn our griddle off. I'm gonna get a plate, and it just gets all served up together. So there's an egg, mushrooms, and bacon.
And if you have a picky eater, you can of course do this in stages. Cook your meat. I would then cook your mushrooms and blister your tomatoes and then cook your eggs, just because eggs will soak up a lot of that bacon grease. And you want to make sure your vegetables get a little piece of the action too, and just plate them all separately and let your family help themselves buffet style or fix their plates, however your family does it.
But this plate is for Kate and I, so.
Yes. And we're just gonna plate up the rest so we don't burn anything really quick.
We have some toast. I'm gonna go ahead and add some jam to mine.
Oh yes. Do we have spoons or forks?
We have spoons.
We grabbed the wrong utensil, so as she puts jam on toast. I'm gonna run grab some forks really quick. Magic!
All right, let's dig in.
I'm gonna go for some egg. You please.
Me too. I'm gonna get some egg. I really want this mushroom though.
I want a tomato personally.
Wow, that was delicious.
All right, well, we gotta go get the family so they can help us eat all this food while we're hot. Don't forget that if you like this video, to like it down below because it helps us out. Leave a comment to let us know what you learned, what you want to see, all of those things, and we'll see what we can do about it.
And if you like Downton Abbey, tell us that.
Yes, please. We need to know we're not alone.
You can also subscribe down below, and we'll link up to our website where you can go get the recipes.
Printable form.